Hi everybody, this is Javier with your daily Chinese character of the day. I hope you guys have been enjoying the lesson so far, as I've been enjoying to teach them as well. So today's lesson is another short one with a very simple definition. And without saying much, let's get started. So today's character is a very simple one, which is this one. Actually, let me fix it better to make it more straight, like that. So it is very simple. It only has two strokes, 1 and 2. So what is this about? This character is simply completion, or the idea of something completed, or termination, which is another synonym. And so it includes the nouns, the verbs, anything that has to do with the end. Some dialects of Chinese use this compound right here to denote that something has been completed. And in the Hanja or the Kanji, they use it as a verb. They include this as a verb to include that something has been completed. So it's very simple and very easy to understand, at least with the essence of it. However, the primitive meaning has an interesting story behind. So without saying much, let's get started. Okay, so there's a few things before we understand the actual primitive of this character. First, we need to write two primitives. So there's an evolution of how the primitive happened. And the children are put here for that reason. So the first primitive is as such. As you can see, maybe you're starting to see the similarities already, maybe not. But without saying much, let's see that. Here is the head, here is the body, and here are the arms. And you're seeing right here, the child is doing exactly the same thing as the arm, which is what this is the primitive character of the word child, which is written as such. Notice it is not the character that we're speaking of today, but that's where the evolution came from. So here you're seeing the child with arms spread, which is denoting the child is being born out of the woman. That is what the actual definition means. It's a newborn. However, later on, as the characters evolved, this, here, let me change the color. Here you're seeing a child without the arms being noticed, because the character to denote this primitive is simply as such. It is a child with a head, but the arms are missing. So it's suggesting that it's a child without arms. Hence I drew the little picture right here. Here, let's see how we can see that going here. And then over here we just see the child with the body, but then no arms. I did not want to put a picture of a child without arms because it is a little empathic. Some people can be empathic towards it, so I'd rather not touch the feels in this sense. But I did want to promote, the child hugging himself just to denote that it does not have any arms. So it all comes down to, okay, what does this mean? How does the child with no arms mean that? Well, all I want to say is that my interpretation of completion to this character is that the child is finished. As sad as the story may be, here, I'm gonna get back to that. A child with arms, of course, was prosperous. It was ready. A child with no arms was finished, terminated. And that includes that definition. Because a child with no arms back in the ancient times was something of a deformity, something that was not accepted in the society and the social status, regardless of whether it was the child's fault or the parents' fault. It was something that the child was not going to make it, therefore it had to be terminated, or the end of his life. Again, that's a little darker of a definition that I want to remember whenever I see that character. So instead, I made into a little bit more positive, changing it into the child that finished hugging. So just like the picture we see before, right here, when the child is hugging, you don't see the arms. Therefore, the child is done. He's done hugging because he's pressed in so much. So, without saying much, let's just write the character again. Oh, I'm not writing the child character, I'm writing the completion character. And here is the primitive. And the idea, again, is all about completion. And termination. So that's what I will remember whenever I see this character, and that's exactly what it means. Whenever you see that, it has to do something with being completed, something is being denoted to be completed, or something that's been on the past. So the sentence or the essence of the character, I will put the child that finished hugging. Child because of the primitive meaning, and finished because of the actual definition of this. Oh, that was a little too clear, but you understand the meaning, what I'm trying to denote here. So, without saying much, this is the character of the day. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Please like and subscribe if you want to be updated on these videos more, and I'll be happy to do the next one tomorrow. See you then.